Good morning. Welcome to Songbird Homestead. I am Kimberly. I am a homesteader up in the area and town of Northeast Maryland. Zone 7A, 7B, I think they just changed the zones last year sometime. And then we also moved around the same time. So sometimes I forget, but the zone 7A or 7B, but we do love it here. We've been here just about a year. It is the beginning of July, so I thought this would be a good time for us to do a garden tour. I did look at a tour I was looking at pictures from even just a couple weeks ago, and I couldn't believe, how prolific everything was, how everything had filled in. Big change. It has been pretty hot, so I know the heat and all the humidity has really contributed to that. We are in a very humid area. You walk out in the morning and it's like a blanket, like a wall of just hot, wet air to make it worse, which is why I do have my hair pulled up a lot these days, just because it's, heat and humidity does not do well for my hair. But anyway, yeah, so I figured it would be a good time for us to do a garden tour, take a peek around and see what's happening. Before we go out and get started in the garden, what I did want to share with y'all is my new addition. This is my pink green stalk that I got. I did treat myself. I think they had a Mother's Day sale, so I got it's the pink basket weave, and I do love it. I do have enough space. It wasn't a space thing. It was just I've been seeing them online and reading about them and seeing lots of pictures, and I fell for the trap, but I am actually finding myself loving it. But I wanted to show you what I have going on with that. So what I did was I just planted some flowers in the bottom. I have some alyssum and some marigolds and some, I think some borage. And then as I go up, that's where I planted like my greens and stuff. I did plant those things up higher so that maybe any rodents or anything, they'd be a little bit safer. And then at the top I have carrots, and I think these are my radishes. I don't know if I have any. Let's see. I can't get any. I don't think there's anything in there yet, but yeah, I'm actually loving that. Here we have Mr. Songbird Homestead. Say hi.
What's up?
He's the man behind all of this. So I don't think you've been on camera before.
I don't believe I've had the pleasure.
So this is my husband, my like I said, the guy that makes all the stuff behind the scenes happen. I think I've said before, we both we've been here about a year, but we do both work a full-time job outside of what we're doing here, which is a lot. So I do definitely appreciate, it's not easy working a full-time job and doing all this, but we love it, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. What do you love about it?
Being outside, not being cooped up inside at work all day, getting some sunshine, some fresh air, letting my wife grow some vegetables.
For you.
Good for the gut, good for the mind.
Good for the body, yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we do love it, yeah. Which is important, because if you're going to do, and then again, it is not easy to put all the time, especially when you work a full-time job, you have to be committed. It is something you have to do, every day. So if you don't love it, you're not going to be, it's not going to be, one, it's not going to be as fun, and who wants to do something that's not fun? But also you're not really, it's hard to be successful at something that you can't put your heart and soul and your mind and all that into, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well put.
So I just noticed I have these sunflowers growing. Look at these bees in there. Very nice. Okay, so the first thing I want to show you guys, I'm really impressed with how well my tomatoes are doing. We are at the beginning, like I said, of July, and I'll tell you, these guys have been in the ground for, I don't know, 6 or 7 weeks or so, and I don't know that I've ever had tomatoes this size this early, which is strange, because we are about an hour north of where we were, which means it should be in theory slightly cooler, but it doesn't seem like that's affected anything with how things are growing. Hear the cicadas? Yeah, it's that time of the year. And I have a blue jay, so yeah, Lots of noises here, which is again why we chose the name Songbird Homestead. It's like a cacophony of you know, things all the time. But regardless, back to the tomatoes, we have a couple that are really a good size. So I have been pruning, no more heavier than I do. Actually, I think I've been pruning a little less, and maybe there's something to that. But let me show you what we have going on here. I do have like 4 or 5 varieties right here. Let's see. These are my orange jazz right here, but look at this. Like, that's a nice big, I don't think that's gonna get any bigger than that. And I do have a second one behind there. And then we have these guys. Not as big. Now this is called the I think Dad's Sunset tomatoes. But I do prune, and I did a video on that where I try to take off like this guy here could come off. But I did a video on pruning where I think it helps the tomatoes to grow, but with all the rain and the heat we've had, these guys are just bushing out again. So this year I didn't get to grow as many of my tomato varieties as I wanted. I'll do a lot of like San Marzanos. We have this bed, but I wanted to do a second bed with all my my paste tomatoes and that, but we didn't get the second bed in. So I have my San Marzanos intermittently placed like all around the, you know, the property. Unfortunately, I just don't have as many of them, but that's okay. This side, let's see what's over here. So this is our cherry tomatoes. I did buy these. This is a yellow pear. Let's see, yellow pear. This guy, let me read it for yourself. There you go. Yep, a yellow pear. So the dilemma I'm having is I don't know what color they're supposed to be, but they are in here. I'm gonna stake these today. I didn't stake this side, and that's unfortunate because they're all laying over, but I have tons. But I don't know. Yellow pear, like, are they supposed to be? I'm hoping some of them will turn yellow and then I'll know, or something. I don't know. Like, are these ripe? I have no idea. And then I have another cherry tomato under here. But this is a red cherry tomato. And they're just in there, which is really exciting. I want to try and dehydrate some of these. And again, I did prune these, but whew, with the heat, forget about it. The heat and the whatever rain we get, they just jump up. Something you'll see that I do a lot of is I interplant. This basil's getting knocked over, but I have this guy here. And because I have so much basil, like I have it probably in all of my beds, I do let some of it go to seed for the pollinators, like these long white plumes here. Bees love that. And it doesn't really affect, at this size of the plant, it doesn't really affect a whole lot. I can still that's enough basil. Plus, like I said, I have lots of basil plants everywhere, which is perfect because we love our basil. But yeah, look at that guy. He's all bushed out. And that basil smells amazing though. Oh my gosh, I just love herbs. If you're watching my videos, I think in every video I'm smelling herbs, but they smell so amazing, I can't help it. All right, now where's my tea? There we go. I think I found it. So you'll see behind me are my 8 metal oval raised beds. We did start with 4 last year. We put 4 more in this year. They did really well. I do like to put our most favorite things in those, again, just because it's, you know, the proximity of the house. I do, of course, have those also interplanted with some zinnias and some other flowers. I have some rogue sunflowers. I have herbs planted in there, but mostly what I like to do with these are put my peppers in there and our eggplant. Last year we had a very successful eggplant season, and I don't want to jinx us. For some reason I'm like, all right, this is where the eggplant like to be. Maybe it's the sun. There aren't a lot of trees where these beds are, so they do get mostly sun all day. And the peppers, of course, love the heat, and that it really does a good job with them. And then I think the eggplant as well. And they are both nightshades, so that does contribute to that. So I'm thinking I'm probably gonna I'll probably rotate the beds and what I put in the beds, but I think this is going to be my pepper and eggplant spot. So let's take a look. This, and I'm going to have to do something because you can see that the beetles they have completely laced out a couple of my leaves from my eggplant, but it's still doing very well. And this is what I'm saying. So look at our eggplant. Now that's probably about 5 inches or so, but they do really well here. And I have like a couple of them. Here's one here. I have another one in the back. And then this is they are the Ikebon. This is a Japanese long eggplant. This is Black Beauty. And they're just the round ones, but we like those too. So I have these are my tomatillas right here. You can see. Now these tend to get a little unruly, or a lot unruly, I think. I usually put them in with my tomatoes and stake them, but because we didn't do the second bed for tomatoes, I didn't have a place, but I figured I should put it someplace and not just let it go to waste. So I did put it here, and I have another one at another spot. We don't need a lot because they do produce a whole lot. So we don't need, more than a couple plants, but I use these. If you've never used tomatillas, they're very interesting. It's almost like it's like a green tomato, but it's kind of like has like a tartness to it, and it grows with a papery husk. Peel the husk off, I cut it, saute it with onion and peppers. That's the only thing I do with it. I'll saute it with, onion and garlic, and then I will blend it with some roasted jalapenos, and I make a salsa verde that we like. But that's what I do with the tomatillas. I haven't really found another use for them, so if you do know of another use for them, leave a comment, let me know, because I'm always curious to try new things. So here is an example of me interplanting. I love it. Sometimes I get carried away. This bed is half flowers and half peppers. I have a lot of, oh, wait a minute. Let's look at this. I didn't realize these guys were quite in here like this. Oh, very nice, very nice. Look at that. Couple of more beds, more peppers. Another example of, see how I left these on here and the pollinators just love that? But I can also get a good amount of basil if I need it. Like, it still produces quite a bit of, then you'll have the offshoots. So it still produces quite a bit of basil for us. And again, this is just one of many plants. Pretty much every, there we go, perfect example. Here's another one. I tend to put basil everywhere, and it's really more basil than we can use. So I do try to dry it and stuff like that. So this next bed I'm really excited about. I discovered this on Roots and Refuge. Gosh, I've mentioned it before. It was a couple years ago. I'm not even sure now when I started following her channel. But the arch trellis. And for me, the bee's knees is just the arch trellis with all the hanging things. That just speaks to my heart. It just sets me on fire. I absolutely love it. So I'm at the point now, and this is very silly. Not really, but I'll share it anyway. So the beans they're ready to be picked. And I don't want to pick on you guys because I don't know, they're so cute sitting there like hanging. It's something, so it just speaks to, I don't know what it is about it, but the vision of that just, to me, it's perfection. So look, isn't that beautiful? Like, look at all those beans hanging. Now, it's very full. My fault. I guess I don't know if I didn't space everything correctly, but I think we're gonna have a huge problem very soon. But look at that. Yeah, I have to pick these. I mean, they're ready. They're beyond ready. I've probably done myself a huge disservice, but I don't care, because for me, the visual aspect of it is something I love so much that it's okay if we don't eat them all. If some of them are too big to eat, it's okay. I'll take the seeds out and save them. So besides being really, really pretty to look at this. Look at all this shade they provide. It's wonderful. Now, I've never been a real big fan of beans. Like, it's never been something I've really loved to eat. But what I'm finding is that I actually like them raw. Very good. like really yummy. Like I prefer them raw over cooked. So I did try to dehydrate some of them recently just to see, because we have so many, but they were okay. Maybe I didn't season them right, or they were okay, but probably not something I'll do it again. Look how lovely that is. What's unfortunate is that pretty purple stripe does come out when you cook it. They do lose their color, which is unfortunate, because on a plate cooked up, that would be really, really pretty. These are just, not just, but these are old homestead beans, so there's no color on them. Just as yummy, but let's see what else we have. Bunch of cucumbers. I have cucumbers here. You can see. Oh, and this guy. Woo, he's almost ready. Oh, there's a baby. I do plant my dill. See my dill? Little guy on there. Whoop. I think that's a winter acorn squash. Why I planted that so early, but that's okay. And this guy is really running out of room, so I'm gonna have to figure out a way to, I don't know if I'm gonna get him back up there. I don't wanna break him. My dragon tooth beans are just about done. Yeah, something happened to them and I've kind of just let them go now, unfortunately. They look similar to the rattlesnake pole bean, but same thing, when you cook them the purple comes out, which is okay, you know. Yeah, this thing is getting out of control. It's gonna get out of control real fast. So every time I talk about watermelon, my husband's like, oh, they take over. They're everywhere, you know. Like has this thing, like he's like afraid they're gonna, like, I don't know, we're gonna come out one day and the whole house is gonna be engulfed by watermelon or something. So I did plant them way back here, and he's right, they are taking over, but what's a girl to do, right? So I do have like 2 or 3 watermelon. Now I did plant, these are the Catania watermelon. Oh, look. I have one right here. Look at that. I can't even wait. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. And then there's like they're getting pollinated like I have little baby watermelon starting everywhere, but they are kind of taking over. I'm not sure what to do. The problem is when I come out to cut the grass, you can see we got these watermelon vines. So I have to tuck them up someplace, but oh, and look, what is this? Surprise! Zucchini has entered the chat. Yeah, zucchini. Oh, look, here's another watermelon. But oh, hey, guy. Hello. Thank you. Thank you. I'm not sure what this is because, again, I have so many things planted on that trellis. I do have bitter melon here. This is bitter melon. I do have someone on Instagram that we follow each other, and she gave me some tips and some hints, so I'm excited about that because I don't know what to do with bitter melon. Winter acorn squash there. So yeah, this bed's doing great. Again, this is all right. Here, looks like, oh my gosh. Now this. Oh, geez. I can get this off of here easily. Yep. And then we have a second one in here. Let's see. I'll take him anyway, even though he's little. He's little, but in an hour, he'll be as big as my thigh. All right, I should have brought a basket, you guys. So this little one, I do have zucchini in there. Ooh. I do have zucchini in there already that I picked 2 days ago. So we'll probably have that with our dinner, with our beans and our carrots. But this guy, what I've been doing with the really, really big ones is I've been cutting them long ways and then giving them to my chickens. They love it. So that's definitely one thing I didn't anticipate, was having such a... It's been really cool because it feels like every day I come out and I'm like, oh, okay, this, has gotten really big, or this is, I'm done with, this cilantro has gone to seed. Let me pull that out. My chamomile, when it went to seed, I pulled it out and I'm just throwing it in with the chickens. And normally I would put that in my compost, and I can still do this. But what I'm doing is I'm giving it to the chickens. Of course, then they're creating, waste and all that. So then I'm in their bedding or whatever, and then I'm taking that out eventually, and I'll put that in the compost. So just really increasing our permaculture and our presence, and of course closing the loop, something people talk about, by just really using every piece of what's in my beds and with my chickens and all that. So that's been pretty cool. That was a goal of ours, and we are slowly being able to achieve that. Isn't that neat? I just love that. I don't know. I love vining things. All right, I'm going to put my zucchini here. I hope I remember them. Maybe somebody remind me later. I just want to show you. Here's an example. Let me show you. So here is I had a broccoli that I planted here. I'm going to dig this up real quick. So this guy, I just pulled him up. He's done. And I planted him late spring, hoping to maybe get something. I had the plants, so I was hoping to maybe get some broccoli, but I didn't. I planted anyway, but I didn't, but that's okay. So I'm going to feed him to the chickens. Forgot where I put my tea, but I found it. So I'm ready to move on. So I keep talking about the chicks. So I figured it was time to come over here and take a look at them. Now, something that I have noticed, and what's really funny is, I know this about my husband and I, when we first started dating, food is my love language. So what I've noticed is, yeah, you hear the girls? Food has become their love language too. So what's happening is every time I come to see them, I always bring them a treat. By treat, zucchini, plants that I pulled out, half a watermelon one day they got as a special treat. Yeah, so I'm like probably 10 feet from them, and they're all gathering at the door because they know mama's coming with a treat. Hello, ladies. How are you? Are you coming to see me or see what I have in my hand? Everybody in. Everybody in. I have it. Y'all are too funny. All right, well, here. Eat your veggies first. Eat your veggies first. Yeah, they go wild for anything I bring in. And I promise you they've been fed this morning. I promise you. I know, sweet honey girl. I know, sweet honey girl. How are you? Yeah, you want my bracelet? Oh, no. She likes to pick at my bracelet. Hey, Gladys. And Amelia. Apollonia. I have these worms here. Hey, pretty girl. Hello. So, yeah, they're a lot of fun. Anybody want some worms? Yeah, I know you do. Yeah. Yeah, they're spoiled. We haven't really done a coop reveal, but I will say that my super amazing husband built this ladder for them, which has been game-changing. Trying to get them to go to bed at night. And we'll talk about that in another video, but yeah. All right. You like your broccoli leaves? You like the broccoli leaves? I know, I interrupted your breakfast. Say hello. This is Amelia. goodness. What's going on, girlfriend? I know. She's mad 'cause I interrupted her breakfast. Okay. All right. So yeah, that's my girls. Like I said, they hear me coming. Some days I feel like that's all I'm good for with them. You know, worms and treats and plants. But they haven't started laying yet. We got them the beginning of, well, middle of April. I think the 11th of April. And they probably won't start laying. I'm probably thinking till September. But they're going to have a lot of rent due by then. Because right now they're living rent free. This is my chocolate man. I got this in a plant exchange. It smells great. I've tried to taste it and chew it up, but I don't know, don't love it. I'm gonna try and dehydrate it and put it in some things. But these are my snow peas. These are a spring. Yep, I just pulled them right out. They're a spring item, and they don't like the heat, so they need to go. This is just this was my grandson's, gosh, I guess like a crib mattress or for his toddler bed or something we had. I just turned it into a little baby trellis, which is nice. This is our strawberry bed, and I did have this covered because, you know, of course the birds, you know, they'll eat your berries to pieces. But what I noticed recently, go in here and see if I can find where I saw them just a little while ago, a few minutes ago. Yeah, so we're getting some berries here. I don't know what all this is. That's concerning, but for the most part, a very, very full bed. Didn't get a lot of berries this year, but I think it's because it was their first year. But hopefully, maybe we'll get some more berries. Oh, this is a weed. Take that guy out. Oh, I'm looking. Here's my tea again. Gosh, I really do leave this everywhere. I think my husband's going to build me some places to set it because I'm just constantly leaving it. But really nice strawberry bed. This will stay here all year. We do leave our strawberries in, you know, around year round or whatever.
What's happening?
I don't know. What's happening with you? What are you doing? What you got going on?
These boxes are dry rotting, so I'm just replacing some wood.
So these are our
septic
our
covers.
septic, yeah. And when we moved here, he put them on there, and they need to be replaced, I guess. Very nice. A little fire. We do love our fire. One day we're going to do a bigger pit right here, something a little more permanent, but right now it works. I'm going to let him finish whatever it is he's doing. Every time I come out, I'll be working, and the next thing I know, he's got some project he's doing, which is pretty cool. But yeah, I'm good. I have my own projects. So the herb bed, it's pretty much my last bed that I wanted to kind of take a peek at. I'm a big fan of the herb bed. I think it's a great way if you're not into gardening and you want to get started. I think herbs are a great way. One, it's pretty easy. They're pretty easy. They pretty much grow themselves. Two, it's something that you're going to use probably a lot of. Anyone who does any kind of cooking, even if you just start with, you know, basil or thyme or something like that, or oregano, I mean, whatever you like. Even mint. Mint is very easy to grow. Just don't put it in the ground. It does spread pretty easily. Although one of my sisters, I noticed, I was at her house a couple days ago, and she has a whole bed of mint that's just growing, and it doesn't seem like it's spreading very much. But regardless, they don't recommend putting it in the ground because it's something you really can't get rid of. But definitely recommend if you want to get started with any kind of gardening, herbs are definitely a really good way to go. Most of my herbs are perennials, which that means that they're going to just stay in the ground all year. A lot of my herbs just came back this year from the winter. My oregano, my thyme, my chives, which I was surprised about that. But some things you are going to have to replant. I'm going to set my tea down. Hopefully you won't forget it. But cilantro, basil, you're going to have to replant. Like I said, my sage, oregano, thyme, all that stuff. That stuff just came back from last year, which is pretty cool, I think. But let me go ahead and I'll show you a look at it. So this is an example of what I was talking about earlier for the chicks. So this is cilantro. It's actually now it's gone to seed. It also doesn't like heat. But if you look on here real close, see all those little seeds? That is actually considered coriander. So that's the difference. Coriander is the seed, cilantro is the plant itself and the leaves. I will pull this out. I'll leave this in here, and probably tomorrow that'll be a nice treat for the chickens. Same thing with this. I had gobs and gobs of chamomile. But this guy is, I'm gonna try and leave that there so it can maybe reseed or something. But here's my basil, shocker, more basil. This is my rosemary. Here's lavender with some grassy weeds in here. When I see stuff, I tend to pull it out just because it is easier to do it than wait till it's all overgrown. But this is my lavender. I did dry some lavender this year to make some for sage burning. I did some sage and some lavender combos. Any guess what this is? More basil. That's a lemon basil. Oh wow. This is bay leaf, which I've never really had a lot of success with. I'm just not sure what to do with that. I had it inside, I've had it outside. Here's my sage. Like I said, I have so much sage that I did pick and dry a lot of this. And I did like bundles for sage burnings. Oh my gosh, that's amazing. My thyme. Baby basil. I do propagate basil regularly, so I have it to stick everywhere. That's from our sweet apple grow that we lost. This ended up in my ground. It's a lemon balm. I should pull that out because it's like mint. Now here's my mint. I do keep it in a pot. And then I have chives right here. More basil. Hello. I'm not lying when I say I have basil everywhere. And then that's oregano. Something else my chickens love. So yeah, if you can see, pretty close. Here's my little house, and my herbs are here. So yeah, by having the herbs so close to the house, one thing that I like is in the morning when I make breakfast or if I'm cooking, I can just, if I'm like, oh, I need a little bit of basil, or oh, I need sage for this, or I'm making whatever, chicken or fish, I need, some rosemary, I can run out here real quick, and in 5 seconds I have fresh herbs. There is and I don't know what it's called. I don't know, zone gardening is probably not the right word. I forget. It's something I do by default, and then I learned about later, was plant the things that you're going to use the most closest to your house. So my herbs are right here. My peppers are here. And that's like zone 1 would be like maybe on my deck. Zone 2 would be like the immediate area here. And eventually like zone 5 all the way in the back. And we didn't talk about this. I have a couple of fruit trees in the back. That's like zone 5. There are things that you're never really going to, or that you're not going to touch or visit or water or harvest from as often. So they're like, it just makes sense to put them the furthest away. There he goes again. The furthest away from your house, or the central area, if you will. This is my other tomatillo. Not doing as well as the first one that we looked at. I do have some yelling, but this one did go in a lot later, so I don't know what that's going to happen. Initially, this was my garlic bed. This is a bed that I put in specifically for garlic, but garlic's not going to go in the ground again until October, so I wanted to make use of this space. So more watermelon. Now this is I think a Catania watermelon, I think it's called. I don't know if I have any watermelons yet in here. That is obviously not cilantro. The cilantro is over here, and that's gonna get pulled out. But here's some, look at these guys. We got some inky little mushrooms. Good sign. If you see mushrooms in your soil, that means that's very good, because that means your soil is diverse and has lots of organisms. Mushrooms won't grow in like a dead soil. But yeah, I guess I don't have any watermelons yet. Is that going to be one now? See this little guy here? Yeah. I'm surprised. But like I said, these guys did go in a little bit later. But just a good use of this space. And what's nice about this is because it is so just long, you know, they can sprawl out that way and not get in the way. So yeah, like I said, we're first week of July, so I'm really pleased with how everything is turning out. I really like a lot of the things that we've done. Oh, I didn't talk about one of the biggest things. In my last video, I think, there was at least part of a fence. We have taken down our entire fence. Our goal or our plan is to eventually fence the entire thing in, but just the fenced-in area that we had before it wasn't really small, but we wanted to kind of combine and have one big area, which we've done, and I really like how it's blending into one property as opposed to inside the fence, outside the fence. But with the cost of fence, and we did just build this ginormous coop and all the, you know, some other beds, so we're gonna wait and probably put the fence up, I'm gonna say next year. But yeah, so we did just take that fence is all gone now, which is really exciting. Now we can sit up at our fire pit area and just look all the way out into the back. And there was eventually those poles are going to come down. I think we might use them for trellis. We're not sure, but I did have there was a pole like right over here. There was a pole. So we did take that out a couple days ago, which was really tough. Oh my gosh. Yeah, it was a whole day adventure because we didn't want to just cut it off. We wanted to dig it out, and we were successful, but it was quite a mess. We were quite a messy couple by the time it was when we were covering in it, because we did try to, after we dug a bunch of it out, we tried to soften the ground with water. So we ran the hose and made mud. So then at the end of the day, we ended up it looked like we had been playing in the mud all day. We were covered, but it was a really good time. We're a pretty fun couple. Like we have a good time together, and we work hard, but we play even harder. So that day we worked hard, but we did play even harder. And at the end of the day, we were covered in mud, but it was a good time. But anyway, thanks for stopping in this morning. I think we have to run to Lowe's. We do have to finish some things on the coop. We have some bricks to, yep, there he goes. Always doing something, but I love it. But yeah, so we need some more bricks for the perimeter of the coop. So I think we're gonna go to Lowe's and do that. And just got a couple things done today. Just try and be productive. It is going to be hot. That's just why I wanted to come out here early this morning. But now it is starting. You can probably see I'm starting to. I'm glistening. But I hope you all have a great day. Thanks for stopping into Songbird Homestead, and I look forward to seeing you again soon.